It's time for Fantasy Football Minute. Here's Bob Waffles.
Welcome to the Week 7 edition of Fantasy Football Minute. I am your host Bob Waffles. Joining me this week is Buck Naked, star of many football-related films including Tight Ends, The Hind Side, The Longest Yard, Varsity Coos, and Brian's Dong. Welcome, Buck.
Thank you, Bob. Super excited to be a part of the program.
The Mesa Bus Yard League is first up today. Great games across the board this week as many 3-3 teams were looking for a way to distinguish themselves. Eric and Team 203 were expecting big things coming off of their record-setting performance last week, but Justin and the Schwarzeneggers were hoping to play spoiler. More on that match a bit later in the show. Right now we are going to take a look at a close game between Rather Be Teeing Off and the AZ Zippers.
Rather Be Teeing Off was coming off of their first victory last week and hoped to gain some momentum heading into the middle of the season. Jose and the Zippers were just one of 8 teams sitting at 3-3, and a win this week would have put them right in the thick of the playoff hunt. This was one of 2 games that were decided Sunday, with neither teams having any players in the Monday night game. Shelley got a great game from Leroy Stebbins Howling, who had a career day and netted 27 points. Jose was in trouble early as Brandon Lloyd could not even put up a full point. At the end of the night, Rather Be Teeing Off managed to pull out the close win. Final score was Zippers, 117, Rather Be Teeing Off, 124.
Shelley definitely did some unzipping in this game, Buck. Speaking of unzipping, when I pick up a lady after a hard day here on the FM set, I want to make sure I am at my cleanest down there. Thoughts why I use Wiener Cleaner, ring-shaped soap. Only Wiener Cleaner allows me to clean the whole shaft, even those hard-to-reach parts underneath. Wiener Cleaner comes in 4 great scents and 3 sizes. Pick some up today.
In my profession, that is a must-have product, Bob.
I bet it is, Buck. Our second matchup this week featured Hart and the Full Flak Jacket taking on Victor and his Vipers. The road supervisor rivalry was in full swing as both of these teams were at 3-3. Full Flak Jacket strapped their saddle on Chris Johnson and rode him for 41 points, opening up a huge early lead that the Vipers were just unable to overcome. Kim Newton has been a constant disappointment for Victor this season, and Week 7 was no different, netting only 78% of his projected 21 points. Both teams had one man to go on Monday, but it was a moot point as Hart pulled off the victory. Final score was Full Flak Jacket, 168, Vipers, 127. Hart was the league's high scorer this week but still fell way short of the record 203 points that Eric scored last week.
Hey Bob, what is the difference between an Eagles fan and a baby?
I do not know, Buck. What?
The baby will stop whining after a while.
That it will, Buck. Our next match had Jermaine and the Black Dynamite traveling to Dallas to take on Joel and the Texans. Black Dynamite was sitting pretty at 5-1 and is considered by many to be the team to beat this year. The Texans, another team sitting at 3-3, were looking to put a stop to Jermaine's 4-game winning streak. Black Dynamite got a huge boost from Aaron Rodgers, who led the matchup in scoring with 31 points. 5 of Jermaine's 9 players were able to beat their projections as Jermaine rolled to an easy win. Final score was Black Dynamite, 140, Texans, 88. That means the Texans are the winners of this week's Preparation H Piss Poor Performer Award. Congratulations, Joel. Hey, Buck.
Yes, Bob.
Do you know why there are so many unsolved murders in Texas?
No, Bob.
There are no dental records and everybody has the same DNA.
That is a good one, Bob. I tell you, nothing beats a good joke about Texas.
So true. It is time now for Bob's Bag, that portion of the show where we answer questions from our viewers. This week's question comes to us from Donald Hoyt in Lemon, Colorado. Donald asks, Mr. Waffles, I am a huge fan. I have been watching your show since the first episode. Please tell us more about your life. Well, Donald, my first memories are of growing up in the Lucky Devil Lounge in Portland, Oregon. My parents had left me outside of this gentleman's club, as I assumed they wanted me to get a proper upbringing. I was always surrounded by beautiful women and they raised me with all of the love a boy could ever need. I graduated last in my class from high school but still managed to get a full-ride cricket farming scholarship to the University of Montana in Missoula. As I have said before though, that turned out to be a lot of work. The rest of my story has been told before, so I hope that answers your question. If you have a question for Bob's Bag, please send it in.
Wow, that must have been a magical time being raised in a strip club.
It was not a strip club, Buck. It was a gentleman's club. If you want to keep your teeth, I suggest you remember that.
Oh. I'm sorry. Still, it must have been awesome. Anyways, our next match is another set of 3-3 teams trying to improve. Ed and the Globe Vandals came out to face Randy and the Lions. This matchup was a back-and-forth battle all weekend as neither team could pull it to a definitive lead. Going into Monday night's game, the Globe Vandals held a 3-point lead and had 2 players in the game. Randy had 3 players on Monday night and was able to make the comeback with the help of the Detroit defense in their matchup, leading 31 points. Final score was Globe Vandals, 103, Lions, 146.
A very exciting match indeed. Moving on, we had last year's champion, What the Fuck, taking on Tanker and his Ultimate Warriors. The champion was in desperate need of a win as they have watched their season slowly circle the drain. The Warriors, yet another team at 3-3, also needed a win to gain some momentum for next week's match against the mighty Team 203. This match featured the 2 highest scoring players of the week, the Houston defense of the Warriors and Drew Brees for WTF. A very close match that had the Warriors leading into Monday night, with Kathy only needing 15 points from one player to get the win. The Warriors were able to hang on though and win this match. Final score was WTF, 116, the Ultimate Warriors, 122. I understand you have a new movie coming out this week, Buck.
That is correct, Bob. I will be starring in yet another great football film. Give It to Me Sunday. The story of an up-and-coming quarterback. I will be playing the role of quarterback Stiamin Willie Seaman. The action will be hot and heavy in what is destined to become an adult classic. Look for it opening up nationwide on October the 30th.
Sounds like a must-see. Our final matchup this week pitted the league scoring record holder, Eric and Team 203, taking on Justin and the Schwarzeneggers. Justin started the week off talking a ton of lame smack. He even went so far as to change his team name, a move that he has criticized in the past. In yet another genius decision by Eric, Team 203 started Tampa quarterback Josh Freeman. Freeman had a huge day and was the second highest scoring QB of the week. This is becoming a trend. Virtually every player that Eric touches turns to gold. Justin had good games from RG3 and the Arizona defense but never really was able to get any offense going. Eric took the lead early in this match and held it to the end of Sunday night. With neither team having players going on Monday, Eric emerged victorious again.
Justin was outclassed in this match from the start. There was never any doubt that Team 203 was going to terminate the Schwarzeneggers. Eric also had a bit of total recall as he started the running man Sean Green, who had another excellent week. It was truly the end of days for Justin as Eric was a true predator in this win.
I am getting word that we have a breaking report just coming in. Let's go live now to Frank Greebles, recently found in a Tijuana bathtub, missing a kidney. Hello, Frank.
Thank you, Bob. This is Frank Greebles with an FFM special report. I am here on location at the home of the coach of the Schwarzeneggers, Justin. Hello, Justin.
Hello, Frank.
Tell us, Justin, where did your game plan go wrong in this devastating loss?
Well, Frank, there was never really any way that I was going to be able to pull off this win. Team 203 is just too strong. I just had to put my best players out there and then watch them take their beating.
They certainly are a great team. We saw on the message boards that you were talking smack pretty early. Was this part of your strategy?
I thought that if I talked enough smack it would seem like I was actually good at this game. Unfortunately for me, I suck at this. Maybe someday I will be as good as Eric, but I really do not know how.
Hey Justin, you got that $5 you owe me for last night?
Shut up, you stupid how. I will buy you when my food stamps come in.
Wow. A lady friend of yours, Justin?
That really is none of your business, Frank. Now if you will excuse me, I have lunch waiting for me.
This has been Frank Greebles with Justin. Back to you in the studio, Bob.
Thank you, Frank. Well, folks, that is it for this week program. Be sure to tune in next week as we have an excellent rematch of Team 203 and the Ultimate Warriors.
We will also feature Black Dynamite taking on Victor and the Vipers. Brandy's Lions will square off against Hart and Full Flak Jacket. In a battle of shitty places to live, the Globe Vandals will take on the Dallas Texans. The two ladies in our league will catch fight as Kathy and WTF face Shelley and rather be teeing off. And finally, the Schwarzeneggers will attempt to unzip Jose and his zippers. I would like to give a quick shout out to my co-star in my upcoming film, Mr. Ben Goldstein. Thank you again for this opportunity, Bob.
Thanks for being here. I am Bob Waffles. Have a great night.